Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the CanUK podcast, the podcast done by fans for fans of everything nerdy. I am your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to this very relaxed and unprepared edition of the podcast. Joining me this week, he's the pride of Florida. It's Israel Pacheco.
Yeah, we should start stealing all of Beyond's stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been on here in a while. It's been probably like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. It's been a while.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, because different schedules and everything. But it's good to be back. Definitely talking about some stuff that's been going on in the industry over this past week. A lot of games I've been playing, so looking forward to it.
Indeed, yeah. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show this week, we're kind of taking a different approach. We don't really have news stories per se to go over. But, yeah, there was a bit of discussion that came out this past week, so we're going to cover some interesting stuff, to say the very least. And, yeah, I guess we may as well dive straight into the show. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the phenomenon that has taken over Twitch this past week in Twitch Plays Pokemon, which is basically the MMO from hell. For those who still don't know about it yet, picture this. You have one original Game Boy with one copy of Pokemon Red, and all at once you have about, from 40 to 90,000 people playing the exact same game at the same time. That is Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Yeah, it sounds nuts. Especially when you watch it, you see how chaotic it looks. Because of all the inputs the game is getting at once, thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, it's well, as of right now, it's been going for 6 days, 21 hours, 38 minutes, and 18 seconds. And amazingly enough, they've gotten 4 badges. They've gotten through They've gotten through Dark Cave. They've managed to get through Team Rocket's hideout in Cerulean City and beaten Giovanni.
Well, that's surprising for something that has so many people playing. Like, how the hell? If you would have told me, I would have been like, they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Some of the highlights from the game thus far. The original update from dorkly.com was, as of 48 hours into the game, the hive mind powering it has made some pretty impressive progress, relatively speaking. 2 badges down, although there's been a lot of aimless wandering back and forth, and a constant stream of people trying to pause the game and mess with the menu. Really, the fact that they got through Moon at all is insane. But it gets better. Let's see here. Update number 2. Red has made 0 progress over the course of 15 hours, is still stuck on Route 9, has only the Helix fossil to console him in this dark hour. Please tell his mother that he loves her and will likely never see her again. Yeah, they were stuck on Route 9 for well over 15 hours.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of the game, right? That's like right when...
Yeah.
Close to where you leave your town, right? Like, you didn't get anywhere.
But it just keeps going better. Like, update number 4. Defying the odds, the over 40,000 chatters controlling the game have made it through the rock tunnel in a mere 9 hours. Reminder, a complex, pitch-black cave with monsters attacking constantly was easier than a ledge.
Wow. The internet never ceases to amaze me with the most random stuff people come up with. Like, seriously, how do you come up with a concept like this? To have, like you were telling me earlier, a hacked ROM where people could access it remotely through the chat feature of Twitch. It's nuts. I wonder if we're going to see any more of these. I'm sure we are with, like, the popularity of this one.
think the creator has said he has more planned for the future. So I'm assuming we might see some more of the Pokemon games for sure, because it's easy to do it with this type of game compared to some other ones.
Yeah. It's not as complex.
Yeah, exactly. There's 4 buttons, basically. A, B, start, select, and, well, the movement. Just to go through some more of the updates here, it took 6 hours or so to cut down a tree at one point. Update number 6. 100 hours have passed. There have been over 50,000 simultaneous chatters. Red now has an Eevee in the 6th slot, crushing the hopes of those who wanted Lapras, since they will eventually need a Pokemon that can learn Surf. Of course, there's always a possibility that Eevee evolves into Vaporeon, but that would require a Water Stone, and all we have right now is a Fire Stone. In other words, things could be difficult going forward. And this is where it gets really great. In a stunningly brilliant move, the over 40,000 players decided to release their Charmeleon, known as a Bach, and their second highest level Pokemon in the party behind Pidgeot, and their first Rattata, known as J Nilo, or nicknamed Jay Leno by the chat, into the wild, freeing them from the bonds of slavery in this obviously doomed quest.
Now I get the picture that was on the Dorkly page. It was Jay Leno. So I was like, who the hell is this guy? Well, he did have a big-ass chin, so it is Jay Leno.
Yeah. Let's see. Update number 8. They've stored their level 44 Pidgeot, aka their only hope, in a PC, and somehow lost a Helix fossil by storing that in the PC too. Then miraculously, Pidgeot was pulled back out. Hope remains. This should be done in a year or so. Optimistic outlook.
That's pretty funny.
Then it goes on, they've been wandering around the Team Rocket hideout. See, 135 hours in, and a great deal has changed. The emulator changed around so that there's a anarchy and democracy meter now with 2 different settings.
Wow.
Yeah. They evolved their Eevee into Flareon, crushing the hopes of many. Let's see. And currently they're trying to get through the Pokemon Tower. However, since the Pokemon Tower is filled with ghost types, which are immune to normal types, they're pretty screwed trying to get through that. And Dorkly here has some important items and terms listed out. Basically, a lot of the memes that have sprung out from this now. There's the Helix fossil, a fossil obtained in Mount Moon that will theoretically evolve into Omnanite. Since it was one of the few items that was impossible to toss, it was frequently attempted to be used, with no result since it's a fossil and all. As a result, consult the Helix fossil has become something of a meme. It was accidentally stored in a PC to much everyone's charging, but it was retrieved a few hours later. The Rattata and Jay Leno that were released. Flareon. One thing the players desperately need is a Pokemon that can learn Surf. When they got Eevee, there was hope they would evolve into Vaporeon, who could, or at least Jolteon, who's a great evolution. Naturally, they bought a Firestone and turned it into Flareon. Many view Flareon as the ultimate success of the trolls and have dubbed it the false prophet. It was released in day 5.
Oh man, so much randomness.
Yeah. I love the last one they have here. Pidgeot, the highest level Pokemon on the team, nearly lost in a PC deposit catastrophe. Currently the only hope.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. The last thing Dorkly has listed here is a bunch of challenges, which this is what they have to get through in order to beat the game. Number 1, the Safari Zone. So this is needed to be done in order to get the HM Surf. So going into the Safari Zone, they had to pay $500 anyway. And there is a 500 step limit. So that's
Wow.
going to be fun. And even if they do get surf, they need a Pokemon that can use it, which they don't have one yet.
Yeah.
Pokemon Tower, which we covered, and then there's Victory Road, which is the path to Victory Road contains an immensely difficult ledge, a worse one than the dreaded Route 9,
Mhm.
which wouldn't be too bad if what immediately follows the ledge is a crazy difficult cave filled with high-level Pokemon, tons of difficult trainers, complicated rock puzzles, each of which requires using strength through the start menu, etc. And if all the Pokemon faint within, which is pretty likely, they'll be transported back to a Pokemon Center and have to go through the ledge all over again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a ways to go, pretty much. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see if they make it to the end,
Mhm.
and how many days it takes.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive they've actually, basically beaten half of the game thus far, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see.
Yeah, this is definitely a crazy social experiment. But definitely something worth checking out, though. It's been pretty amusing to watch at times.
Hmm.
Alright, so moving on from this, we've got another trailer talk for this week, and the trailer, of course, is the trailer, the very first one, for Guardians of the Galaxy. We finally got our first look.
And it's looking good.
Oh, it's looking amazing!
I didn't think they were gonna pull off, like, honestly, when I saw the character designs, because I'm not really familiar with the Guardians of the Galaxy like comics,
Mhm,
besides like Rocket Raccoon being in like Marvel vs. Capcom. But I was like, how are they gonna pull this off? These are really strange characters,
mhm,
and sometimes when they translate things from comic books to film, it just looks corny.
yep,
But it looks pretty cool,
mhm.
like from what I saw in the trailer.
They definitely got a lot of people interested in this movie and the characters now. Like, last night when the trailer first went up, there were so many tweets of people going, I've never read the comics, I've had no idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, but I am immensely excited for this movie now.
Yeah, because it looks like one of those, like Marvel does it way better than Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers, their movies are more, have a serious tone to them.
Hmm.
The Marvel films feel a lot more fun,
Yeah.
a lot more comedy in them, and it's not like forced comedy. It's like, it's not like Transformers movie comedy
No.
where they try to force it. It's actually funny, and I think they've done a good job with like the Iron Man films and the Avengers and
Hmm.
all the other films that they've done, where they throw in some comedy and it doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got the perfect director for this too, James Gunn, who's, kind of out there himself.
Hmm.
So he understands the source material probably better than anybody else would.
I'm actually interested to read some of the comics now.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look some up to see, like if there's like a definitive, comic for Guardians of the Galaxy, like a graphic novel or some compilation that I could read.
Well, I think Marcus Beer actually tweeted out the one he's buying off Amazon, so
Hmm.
that's a good one to start with. That's the new Guardians series that started up last year, and
Hmm.
it, yeah, it does include the base team that we're getting here in the movie.
All right. Checking Amazon right now to see, because it got me, because the characters look so fucking weird.
Hmm.
They don't look like the Avengers. They just look like some crazy guys who just put together.
Yeah. I mean, we got Dave Bautista painted green with tattoos.
I want to see him do the Batista bomb at least once during the film to some random like villain. Oh man, that'd be funny. But yeah, at first like it didn't hit me. It's Zoe Saldana, right? Like the one
Yeah,
who's the green character. Like
Gamora.
at first I was like, wait, she looks familiar. Is she green or blue? I
Green.
can't remember. Green, right? Yeah, I'm thinking Avatar. Yeah, but since she was in that movie too, but I was looking because I remember hearing she was cast in this film. I just didn't know what part she was playing.
hmm
And then I saw the character. I was like, oh, that's her right there. I was trying to figure out when they did like the each of the mug shots for the characters. I
hmm
was like, wait, isn't that Zoe Saldana? And it kind of hit me there because I really hadn't been following this as closely as you have.
hmm
But it looks fun. It looks like a really fun summer movie.
Yep. Especially with like the music they used for the trailer too.
Hmm. Yeah, it just seemed like that type of fun and like the scene. What's his name? Star Lord,
Yep.
like the leader of them, where he's like they got him like in the mug shot, and then he starts like lifting his middle finger.
And
Started
cranking it up.
yeah, that started started dying when I saw it. But yeah, it seems like that type of movie, like comedic comic film. It kind of got me thinking what a Deadpool movie would turn out, since
hmm
Deadpool has like a really strange humor to it also, which it
Really
seems like,
edgy type humor, yeah.
yeah, like it seems like this not might be at the level of a Deadpool, but
hmm
it just got me thinking, man, if they could pull Guardians of the Galaxy off and it's a great movie when it comes out,
Yep.
I really want them to try out Deadpool. I know that it needs an R rating, of course,
Yep.
because of the character, but
Unfortunately,
hopefully,
he's
yeah,
unfortunately he's still owned by Fox for movie rights. So
yeah. So, well, we'll see what happens with that, because that film's been in limbo for like,
ages, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Guardians looked great, and each of the mugshots, as you said, were fantastic. If you pause through each one, you can read some of their crimes,
Hmm.
and well, Glamora, Zoe Saldana's character, hers is
Hmm.
pretty basic, I guess. 12 counts of murder. Try to pull it up here on the trailer if it'll load for me. Come on, here we go. Drax the Destroyer. They basically say, well, his basic origins, really. I don't think they
Hmm.
say his, crimes and whatnot. Mute the trailer so I can play it here. Yeah, Gamora's 12 counts of murder. Rocket Raccoon is just littered with crimes here. Let's see. Record, 13 counts of
Hmm.
theft, 14 counts of escape from incarceration, 7 counts of mercenary activity, 15 counts of arson. Gotta love that character.
I want to see like the what got me thinking with Drax's character. It was like the internet wrestling community grabs that screenshot and then just writes like wins the Royal Rumble, main events WrestleMania, like under his crimes. That'd be hilarious. Oh man, I'm sure we're gonna see that within the next couple of days.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
somebody's gonna do that. But yeah, it got me thinking now, like if things are gonna turn around for Batista, I know a lot of people are booing him.
Yeah.
They don't want to see him in the main event, but maybe like if this movie's like really successful, maybe people just turn around.
hmm
Like at least the internet wrestling community is not too high on him right now, but
Yeah. Well, it's more against the company than anything else right now.
yeah.
Let's see here. For group, basically criminal record is 3 counts of GBH, which whatever that is, and I think Star-Lord's actually really good.
Mm.
He's got one comical one I know for sure. There he is putting up the finger. No, I don't want to know what enhancements. Let's see here. Here we go. One count of fraud, 2 counts of assault, drunkenness, or assault slash drunkenness, 1 count sex crime, illegal manipulation of Gamosian Duchess.
Oh man.
So, Star-Lord's got a little bit of Captain Kirk into him.
Yeah.
But yeah. And basically, and we still haven't seen any footage of most of the bad guys in the film. There were some very brief glimpses of Karen Gillan's character and one other dude. I can't remember his name now. I think there was a very, very brief shot of Ronan the Accuser, who is the main antagonist in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but... and we get to see the Collector, too, who was briefly shown at the end of Thor, for those who remember the after-credits scene. Benicio,
The latest one, right?
Yeah,
Dark
Dark
World.
World.
Yeah, that comes out next week.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I gotta buy that, because I didn't see it in theaters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're in for a treat, then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Guardians trailer is just shaping up to be excellent. Probably my most anticipated movie for this year, really.
Yeah, it's high up there for me now, and like I was saying, I'm not really familiar with the series that much,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up there for me, and I know we're gonna talk about some other movies later, but I guess I'll leave it till then.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing to mention about the trailer is John C. Reilly seems a little bit out of place, but
Yeah, he did. He seemed really out of place. But hey, man, it kind of goes with the theme of the movie, the whole off the wall.
This is like, it's weird because over the past few weeks we've talked about DC and their weird casting choices as of late, but Marvel has done some weird ones for this movie, but they seem to be working out really well.
Yeah, it's working out for Marvel, not so much for DC. Poor DC.
Oh, man. Alright. So, let's dive into our laid-back edition of the news stories of the week. Which, amazingly enough, the most we're going to talk about this week is actually Nintendo.
Dun dun dun. Bashing begins now.
Well, at least it didn't reveal more Cranky Con, for fuck's sake. But, yes, there was a new Nintendo Direct last week. Got some interesting news out of that. First and foremost, we got a new Smash Brothers character. Somebody that, should have been in the previous games, really.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
That's Little Mac from Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out.
That's cool. I think he's a cool addition because it's not only a character that from like the old school Nintendo days, like you were saying, NES and Super Nintendo, and of course they rebooted the franchise on the Wii, which I think is actually a really underrated game on the Wii. Like not a lot of people bring up Punch-Out on the Wii. It was really fun. I beat that game. It was really fun. I got rid of it though. Like I traded it in, which is stupid because now it's not really that sought after right now. But if you want like a new copy, I'm looking on Amazon right now, and a new copy is like $50, like $40.
Oh wow!
But I got to get a used copy soon before prices skyrocket, because it seems like it's going to be one of those games when once Smash Brother comes out, people are going to start looking for this game. You know how it is. Once one game comes out, it like elevates the price of another. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing as Little Mac. What's kind of strange is I remember Sakurai saying like months ago that the character roster was going to be really small, and we're like over 20 characters at this point. So I'm like, what? Wait, what? Didn't you say it was going to be a small roster of characters? And now I'm pretty sure we're way over 20 characters at this point. So
yeah, I do believe so.
I don't know who they got left to announce. Like
Geefies and they.
Yeah, we'll see who they have left to announce, but I'm looking forward to this game. I just wish we would get a solid release date already, because it keeps like 2014. And I I think Nintendo needs this game this year. It can't be
Oh,
pushed back
yeah.
to 2015.
hmm let's see here.
But good news though.
I've actually got the character list pulled up here. We have Bowser, Donkey
Mm.
Kong, Fox MacLeod, King Dedede, Kirby, Link, Little Mac, Lucario, Luigi, Mario, Mirth, Mega Man, Pikachu, Pikmin and Olimar, Pit, so that's 15, Princess Peach, Rosalina and Luma, Samus Aran, Sonic, Toon Link, that's 20, Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Zelda.
Yep.
So 23 characters already.
Yeah, so much for a small roster. I'm not complaining though, because I was one of the people who, when he said that, I was like, wait, you didn't give us 10 characters. But I'm happy it's, shaping up to be a larger roster.
hmm Yeah, I hope we see some more characters from outside Nintendo as well. I mean, we got Sonic and
And Mega Man.
Mega Man thus far, so I don't know. I'd like to see the return of Snake again, personally.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm trying to think what other third-party character would fit. Hmm. Trying to think what other big characters does Sega have?
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. Yeah, that actually could work because it's under, the Nintendo umbrella now with Bayonetta 2, but
hmm
she's kind of, the more mature character. But Snake was a, rated M mature character, so
Yep.
it could work out as long as it's not, like, she's not, like, half naked or anything. Like, she uses her hair as, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
and then from, like, Capcom, maybe one of the Street Fighter characters, like Ryu. That'd be fun just to see.
hmm
Um, maybe one of the Resident Evil characters,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Chris
Chris,
or...
Jill, or Leon.
Mhm.
So
Bring in, what's his name? Barry.
yeah,
Oh,
nobody wants that.
I just looked back at Twitch Plays Pokemon. They just beat the fighting dojo.
Oh, let's see where they get to by the end of this podcast.
Well, right now they're trying to get Hitmonlee, apparently.
hmm
Okay, yeah, so Smash Brothers, Little Mac. Next up, they announced NES Remix 2. Yay!
I haven't played the first one yet,
hmm
but I've heard a lot of good things about the game, that it's actually pretty damn fun. I just don't have the time right now to play something like that,
hmm
especially with all the other releases on the consoles. I'm sure probably like in a couple months I'll pick it up and give it a shot.
hmm
But it's cool that they're supporting the eShop and they're bringing out smaller titles like this.
Indeed, yeah. Let's see here. Next up, speaking of the eShop, Metroid Fusion, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and Super Mario Advance 3 Yoshi's Island is coming to the Wii U eShop.
Yeah, it's cool that they're adding Virtual Console. It's just kind of strange that they're doing it on the Wii U before they're doing it on the 3DS.
Well, maybe
Like,
they want to keep the ambassador program, special still.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But I think it kind of makes more sense on the 3DS since it's a handheld and the GBA was a handheld.
Yeah.
But it's cool. There's just more games on the console that are available to more people. I don't know if I'll personally be picking up any of those because I own Metroid Fusion. What was the other ones? Like Mario,
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
I don't own that one, or the Yoshi's Island.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's cool that they're adding more stuff. I really think they should speed that up though, like the whole Virtual Console service.
Mhm.
Because it seems like every couple of months they add a couple games here and there, and it should just be cranking them out.
Yeah.
Like every month, like 10 new Virtual Console games.
Mhm.
And by the end of the year, you have over 100 games. And look, we got all these games on our consoles. I don't know. It's just, It's Nintendo. Pretty much. That's all that explains. It's Nintendo. They do whatever they want.
Pretty much, yeah. That's like our the next part here of the Nintendo Direct. Let's see, we got Donkey Kong coming out this month, so they announced a
Yep.
release date for Mario Kart 8. Is it March? Nope. Is it April? Nope. It's May 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's not going to be a drought of games this year.
Eh, well, I guess they're trying to spread everything out as much as possible,
Mm,
so that like Donkey Kong comes out this Friday, they give it like a 2-month window to sell, um, and maybe after Mario Kart 8 comes out in May, like 2 months later we get Bayonetta, because Bayonetta looks really far along, which
yeah.
we'll talk about in a second. But I think that's what they're trying to do. It's kind of disappointing though that they're just not hitting us over the head like they did with the 3DS last year.
Hmm.
Every month there was like at least one or two brand new 3DS games, or more than that,
Yeah.
like both first party and third party.
Hmm.
So I gotta understand why they're spreading it out. So it's not like last year when Monster Hunter and Lego City came out and then there was nothing for a while.
Hmm.
They don't want them release them right away alongside each other. But I am looking forward to Mario Kart, and I didn't really like the Wii one too much.
Yeah.
The 3DS one was good, but it didn't really grab me. The last one that I played the crap out of was Mario Kart DS. But this one looks like it's going to be really, really fun. And I'm hoping it has like a really cool like online infrastructure
Yeah. If they did
to,
it with 7 on the 3DS, it'll be great.
yeah, exactly. If they just, transfer that over to the Wii U, I'm sure we're not going to get no party chat because it's Nintendo. But it looks fun, and I'm definitely going to be picking it up. I was kind of down on it at first when I first saw Mario Kart 8. But now that we're getting closer to the release, I'm looking forward to it. Even if it isn't what I've wanted it to be, the Nintendo Kart, just copy Sega's idea and just have all the other characters in there. But
But now you're getting all the Kooplings.
yeah, you're getting all the Koopalings, and I don't
And
know
I
what.
saw that and I was like, really? That's their selling point for the game now? That's worse than Cranky Kong, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Koopalings, poor Koopalings.
Bowser's poor bastard children.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be picking that up like right when it comes out.
Hmm. And last but not least, we got new trailers for Bayonetta 2 and X. Well, Monolith's new game, which still doesn't have an official title.
Mm. Yeah, both of these look really good.
Hmm.
Like to me, this was a highlight of the
Oh,
Nintendo Direct. Like honestly, I was watching it because I didn't watch it when they first broadcast it.
hmm.
So I got home from work and I was like, oh, that's right. There was a Nintendo Direct today. And then I see it's like 45 minutes long and I'm like, wait, did they announce anything good? And then I just start skipping through it until I got to the Bayonetta 2 and X stuff. And Bayonetta 2 looks ridiculous, which I
Hmm.
love.
Yep.
I love the first Bayonetta game. I beat it on 360. Like probably around the time it came out, or I think it was a summer after it came out that I finally got around to playing it.
Yep.
But that looks awesome.
Hmm.
X looks really awesome, and I'm not a big RPG guy, and it looks really, really cool. No release dates for either. Bayonetta 2, they said later in 2014.
Hmm.
X later in 2014 for Japan, but not, Europe and Americas. So I just want release dates at this point. That's all I wanted. If they would have said Bayonetta 2 out like June or July, like 30th or something, then I would have been like, okay, that's awesome. That's something to look forward to. And X out, even if it's later in the year, even if they're like out September, October,
Hmm.
I would have appreciated that. But Nintendo does what Nintendo wants, pretty much. I really think they need to shake things up, though. They not that they need to get rid of their present or anything like the other people. I think they just need their whole presentation. I was bored of the Nintendo Direct
Hmm.
because Iwata's just there and we're bringing this directly to you. Like, okay, I got it. Like, bring somebody younger, and I'm not talking about the people who look really weird from like the Nintendo Treehouse, who they're like, "Yeah, hi, I'm here to talk about this game," and then they like pan to the side and they're like, and today we're talking like it just seems so fake.
Hmm.
Like they need somebody who talks and is enjoyable, like to
Exactly.
watch. Like it could be a young guy, it could be somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. I don't understand why they don't put somebody like that, you know,
I agree with you.
behind the camera, not Iwata.
Mm.
Maybe the fans enjoy that. I kind of enjoy that at first, but now it's kind of getting old, and I think they need to shake things up
Hmm.
and get a better presentation. Not that they're going to do some crazy, oh, it's the 90s and have like a cool guy like the guy from those Donkey Kong Country like VHSs
Oh
that they
God.
did. Like that one guy, bring him back. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing, Nintendo Direct, just because of no release dates. If they would have said
Yeah,
these release dates, it would have been good.
yeah, yeah, definitely. The one thing I'm waiting for I want to get a Wii U, but
Hmm.
I want to know release dates for Bayonetta 2 and X. If I know when they're coming out, that's when I will actually start putting aside money for a Wii U.
Yeah, and that's the good thing too about release dates. Like you could plan ahead, and you're like, okay, this month I'm gonna save this much money, the next month this much money, and then I'll get it when it releases or whatever. But they're not doing that.
No. Ugh, fucking Nintendo. Well,
And I'm loving Nintendo. We're gonna get to the games we played later, and I've been playing a lot of Nintendo, so
hmm,
we're being down here because we want them to do better.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not like we're hating them just to hate them. It's just
Hmm.
stupid decisions.
Yeah. I need somebody. I Why don't they get some like new spokesman or something? Like they really need somebody up there, not a water. I'm
At
telling
this
you.
point, even Phil Spencer would be better for them.
Uh,
Uh,
Don Matrix gonna go to Nintendo. That'd probably be better than what they have now. But anyway, moving forward.
Speaking of release dates, we actually did get a release date for a game this past week, and that's The Evil Within. And it's going to be releasing on August 26th in North America and the 29th in Europe. And it's going to be coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. So the original creator of Resident Evil is back with his new game this summer.
I think this is cool because I was kind of wondering what the hell's gonna come out between like like March, April, May until like fall.
Yeah,
Because there's like a big gap for at least the next gen consoles in terms of software.
exactly, yeah.
And it looks like we're going to be getting this in August,
Yep.
as long as it's not delayed. Watch Dogs sometime between then, like before June.
Yep.
So at least there's stuff coming out on the
I think
consoles.
Murdered Soul Suspect comes out in June as well.
Oh yeah, that one too. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to this since it's Shinji Mikami and, you know, his pedigree with the Resident Evil games and survival horror
Yep.
hasn't been the same lately. It's been more action driven.
Hmm.
Uh, I might pick this up. It depends if there's anything else that month,
Hmm.
which as of right now, we really don't know anything. But of course, E3
Exactly.
is coming out and not coming out, but E3 is going to be in June.
Hmm.
And we'll learn about other games coming out that fall.
Yep. Yeah, it's the game itself is I'm interested. I want to play it, but at the same time it's kind of like Outlast where it's like if I pick this up, I'm probably going to be playing for like 20 minutes at a time before I have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks actually terrifying.
Yeah, it looks disturbing. It looks
Yeah.
really disturbing.
Uh, well, I guess it's good in one way. Somebody's actually, doing this again with a big name title.
What company is this coming under? Like, who's publishing this? Do you know?
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's good to see.
Hmm.
Them branching out to different games.
Yep. All right. Next up here. Usually these days now, people, making games, they base it off of trends of what's happening and, you know, going with the most popular things, and like EA going online only, or I don't know, free to play bullshit and everything else.
Yeah, multiplayer modes in every game.
Exactly. But there's one company that's, saying fuck that. Metrics and focus groups do not serve our company or our fans, which is a very good thing for like somebody to come out and say. Of course, I'm talking about the Disgaea creator, NIS, Nippon Ichi Software, basically saying, fans come first. They are a realistic company who, they know they're not going to sell millions and millions of copies of their games over here. They know they're only going to sell about like between 50 to 100,000 copies if they're lucky. They set realistic goals and they're focusing on their fan base.
That's good to hear, especially for like a niche company like NIS.
Hmm.
I don't personally own any of their games, I think, because they're not my type of game.
Hmm.
But I know a lot of people that enjoy them. I know you buy a lot of their
Yeah.
games. So, and a buddy of mine, CJ, he also likes like the Disgaea series and like those types of strange games that they release.
Hmm.
And it's good to hear that they care about their, their fan base, their customers. They're not trying to be as mainstream as say like Activision or EA, yeah, even Square Enix. But and the media nowadays where everybody's down on the companies and all that stuff. This is a great thing to hear, some positive news.
Hmm. Yep. Personally, like I've said it time and time before, NIS is basically my favorite developer and publisher right now. So because,
Mhm.
they don't, stray away from their roots, basically. They bring out niche Japanese RPGs. That's their thing, and they're not going to, change for anybody.
Mhm.
So, it was extremely nice to hear this from them, just on a personal level. All
Yeah.
right, last but not least, we got some pretty sad news this past week.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you want to take this one on, Israel, since I've, kind of
Yeah.
dominated the news section?
Yeah, speaking about, developers, news broke, I believe it was yesterday afternoon maybe, that Irrational Games is closing, which
Yeah.
just came out of nowhere. Ken Levine has decided to, close down Irrational Games. A lot of people have been laid off. A very small team has been kept to follow Ken Levine, where he's going to be focusing on smaller games.
Hmm.
I don't know if that necessarily means indie games or something that doesn't require as big of a budget as BioShock. And I guess maybe that's the end of the BioShock franchise. I doubt it because it's rather successful and popular.
I'm sure
I
2K
guess
will.
2K is going to, buy those rights up. As we were talking about before the podcast, whereas BioShock Infinite, not BioShock Infinite, but the BioShock Vita game that
Yeah.
was supposed to happen that everybody forgot about.
Hmm.
It's really out of left field, but at the same time, I kind of understand it, especially after playing BioShock Infinite
Hmm.
and seeing that it was a game that was held back by being a first-person shooter.
Hmm.
And you could tell with the marketing, even the box art. Remember the whole controversy
Oh,
about that, where they had Booker on the cover. They didn't want to put Elizabeth on the cover or whatever.
yeah.
It seemed like they were trying to be as mainstream as possible. Ken Levine was trying to put his vision of Columbia into a first-person shooter, and I know you really didn't like the game. It didn't really grab you, and you were a fan of the original Bioshock.
Yep.
To me, it grabbed me, but I saw that it felt like forced as a first-person shooter. I would have rather played like a Mass Effect style game within the world of Columbia,
Hmm.
which would have been awesome, like an action RPG. So I could see where Ken Levine might have been frustrated when the industry, maybe 2K games was forcing him to make a first-person shooter because that's what sells supposedly in the market today. Even though Call of Duty, Battlefield, they're up there, but all the, knockoff games, they don't sell as much, to be honest. But it's sad to hear because I would have liked to see some, big budget continuation to the Bioshock franchise,
Hmm.
especially with the ending of Bioshock Infinite. But at the same time, it's, new opportunities for Ken Levine to create something much smaller, and maybe he could realize his vision without 2K being on him. And this is all speculation. Like, I don't know Ken Levine personally. I just know from what I've seen in interviews, from what I've heard about the industry, all the backlash with the cover of the game, it being a first-person shooter. That is just speculation on my part that he probably got fed up and
Hmm.
with that. And something that's not directly related, but I read that Cliff Bleszinski, of course, used to be at Epic Games, left the company, known for the Gears of War franchise. He released a quote recently saying that Gears of War didn't turn out like he wanted it to.
Hmm.
He wanted it to be more like Bands of Brothers, that popular television show, where it has a lot of action, but it's a lot more emotional. It's about war and what happens to people when they go through war.
Hmm.
And it ended up being more about the gameplay mechanics and how fun it was, and a bro shooter and guys on steroids,
Yeah.
which he said himself, which a lot of people criticize the Gears of War franchise for. And now I could understand why he left the industry, because he was probably forced down that road, like, oh, you have to make it like this for the Call of Duty crowd. Call of Duty wasn't even that big back when Gears came out, because Gears came out in 2006. It wasn't until like Modern Warfare 4 then Call of Duty exploded.
Hmm.
But the whole, bro shooter crowd, mainstream, which is sad, because I would have liked to see a more, you know, I'm trying to think of the word, like more serious tone to the Gears of War franchise. I think the first game really had some of that serious tone, now that I think about it.
Hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed the first Gears of War. Then the other ones got more, action. They've always been about action, but the tone was different. Well, yeah, it just seems like all these developers, or like, figureheads of the companies, they're kind of tired of the way the gaming industry is right now. That the games have to be certain ways. And it's funny, we were just talking about NIS
Yep.
and how they said they don't care about metrics and trends and all that stuff. But I think we'll see a lot more people leave the industry, especially with how things have gone. And I remember the guys from BioWare, they left the industry last year. And
Hmm.
I don't know, it's like a combination of things. Like on one hand, you have the people, the stockholders and the publishers and all that they want you to create a certain game. And on the other hand, you have all these fans and people who criticize you. So, which we do here, of course. We criticize them, but we don't mean no harm. We're not trying to be malicious. But there's some people out there who are, they got no lives. They got nothing better to do.
Hmm.
But anyway, that's my little rant about Rational Games closing.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Though on the plus side here, hey, a Ken Levine indie game, I'm
Yeah,
all
that,
for
that
that.
sounds fucking awesome. It does, honestly.
Because, I mean, if he goes the same route as, say, Tim Schafer, we could be looking at some great, games coming very soon.
Yeah. And closer to his vision, to his original vision, that it doesn't have to be compromised.
Hmm.
Well, of course, budget-wise, but it's not going to be AAA big budget, but
Yep.
it'll probably be closer to his vision.
All right. Well, moving on here in the podcast. Since we didn't really have any big movie or TV news to go over this week, we've decided to just look ahead a little bit at the movies of 2014. Now, we've already gushed a lot over Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's a whole lot more movies coming out. So I guess we'll go back and forth here between these.
Yep.
The first of which we have listed here is Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which is coming out very soon, April 4th of this year. And that movie is looking fantastic.
Yeah, it looks a lot darker than the previous Captain America film.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to it. I actually thought Captain America was surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be crap, honestly. When I saw it, I was like, this is going to be garbage. And then I saw the movie, and actually it was really entertaining, really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I was trying to figure out who's playing the villain in this one.
The Winter Soldier himself.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier himself, yeah.
Probably a bit of a spoiler alert here, but if you looked up the character, you'd know who he is anyway. It's, remember Bucky from the first film?
Bucky from the first film.
Cap's, best friend?
Oh, I meant like, not a character within the, like, realm of Captain America. I meant like the actual actor playing the Winter Soldier. And I was
Sebastian Stan, the guy who played Bucky in the first film.
Okay.
Yeah, same dude.
Okay, same dude. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the Winter Soldier.
All right.
Not sure if they said anybody else for villain in that film. There's possibly, but they haven't really specified yet. I'm sure there's going to be a big secret reveal anyway.
Mm-hmm. Dun dun dun. It's Rocket Raccoon. Crossover.
Hey, after credit scene with Rocket, I'm totally fine with that. More Rocket, the better, I say. Alright, you've got the next one here.
Alright, the next one we got here is The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I just saw the trailer today. I hadn't watched it previously, although I enjoyed the first film, the first Amazing Spider-Man. And I was trying to figure out the whole time where they were trying to draw their inspiration from, because it seems strange, because I'm, familiar with the traditional Spider-Man storyline, Harry Osborn being such a close friend of Peter, and then they switched that up in Ultimate Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't really close friends, and it was really different. And this is somewhere in between, I guess. I couldn't really figure it out from the trailer. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely leaning more towards Ultimate Spider-Man with, I think, drawing inspiration a little bit from the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, but there's that little bit of inkling of concern simply because they've got so many villains for this movie.
Yeah, it just seemed off. And I saw the design for Rhino. That was Rhino, right? In
the mech suit.
The mech suit?
Yep.
I was like, what? Like, it just... I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm going to have to see how it turns out in the final film. But it was just, like, off. Mm-hmm. There was something off about the trailer. That's all I got to say. It didn't grab me as much as I thought it would. Mm-hmm. Especially after enjoying the first movie. But we'll see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never know. May turn out good. I mean, Jamie Foxx looks great as Electro. He seems to be playing that role really well.
Yeah, that looks quite good, actually, yeah.
It's just Rhino and Green Goblin, and the concern rises there.
So, in this movie, is Harry going to be Green Goblin?
It looks that way. They haven't really confirmed it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, because they had that short clip where Norman Osborn was like, he was like bedridden, I believe, and he was talking to Harry. We'll see how it turns out. It's kind of a different take on Spider-Man, but we'll see.
Alright, next up here is a movie that's coming late in the year, and that's The Hobbit, There and Back Again. which is the third and final installment of that series. And yeah, personally really excited for that one, given how the second one ended right when shit started to get real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really, Peter Jackson, you're going to end on that cliffhanger? Make us wait for a year?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, but I love you.
Yeah, I haven't seen the other two Hobbit films. I've been waiting until they all come out
hmm
so I could just, watch them back to back
hmm
instead of just, having to wait between releases. And
Probably a smart idea.
yeah, and I'm not like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I enjoyed the movies,
hmm
but it's something that's, I don't know, I have to be kind of like in the mood to
Yeah.
watch. So
Well,
I'm sure I'm not going to see this in theaters since I haven't seen
well, I mean, you could
the
see the
other
first
films.
two on, DVD and then go
Yeah,
see them.
Blu-ray, yeah. Yeah, I might rent them, or if it's like close to release date, just to, watch the first two and then go see it. So,
hmm Uh, Definitely looking forward to it simply because Lord of the Rings movies, I like them, but the Hobbit series has been much more watchable, much more fun in a way.
hmm
Far less serious, put it that way.
yeah.
Alright,
Well,
you've got the next one.
moving on, one of my most anticipated films of this year is Godzilla.
Come on, you have to say like, Godzilla!
Godzilla! Godzilla! But,
There goes the Japanese audience.
uh, yeah, this is looking quite good from the trailer that I saw. I'm trying to remember who's directing it and producing it. Can't think of it off the top of my head.
Me neither.
But it looks cool from what I saw in the trailer, and I'm a fan of old cheesy Godzilla films.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see something like this, especially after Pacific Rim,
Mm,
because I know it's Warner Brothers. I believe it's like the same studio behind Pacific Rim.
think
I
so.
don't think it's. Uh, I'm sure it's not Guillermo del Toro like behind it or anything, but like the same company behind it. But I'm looking forward to see more footage. Like they've really haven't shown too much in like the trailers that they've released. You only see like a silhouette of Godzilla behind like smoke and like the iconic yell or roar. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm. Alright, well, last up here on our list we have X-Men Days of Future Past, I think this is the last comic book movie of the year. I'm not sure, there might be another smaller one out there, but yeah, the next X-Men movie, which is looking really good, really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're jumping back and forth between timelines and characters are going to the past and then they're coming to the present. So we'll see how it turns out. But Bryan Singer's back to do this one, so
Mhm.
I think he did a great job with the first two X-Men films.
Yes.
And the first, the I guess you could call it a reboot. I guess
Mm.
First Class.
Yeah, it was.
It's kind of like an alternate timeline
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's an alternate timeline, because if they're trying to, like, completely
bridge the
connect everything,
films.
it's like,
Yeah.
fuck you guys. They really can't because of certain
hmm
things, but yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to be
It's
interesting.
looking good though.
hmm And of course, well, this will be connecting to the next movie, which contains Apocalypse into it, so yes.
Mhm.
I'm a major fan of that villain, so I'm completely looking forward to seeing how they connect things up to that next movie. And we're getting Sentinels finally on the big screen, so that's going to be
Oh
really
yeah, that's gonna be fun to see.
great. So
It's gonna be really fun to see.
that's the last one we basically had listed here, but
hmm
there are some more coming in. I mean, we have the next Liam Neeson action movie non-stop releasing this month.
Well, I thought you were gonna say Taken 3. Didn't that come out this year too, right? I
Maybe.
think.
I didn't
I don't know.
doing it. Next month we got some big movies coming out. 300 Rise of an Empire is releasing.
I'm kind of on the fence about that one. I know I want to see it. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And it might be good. It might not.
hmm we have the first video game movie of the year, Need for Speed.
Imagine if this is like the best video game movie that's ever been made. Well, it's really got no competition because...
Ralph.
Oh, yeah, of course. But,
Yeah. Who thought
I don't know. It'll probably be fun just to see.
it does have Aaron Paul into it, so maybe he'll say bitch a few times, which would be interesting.
I'm sure it'll be just a fun, like, like how the Fast and the Furious movies are. They're just, appealing to the eyes with all the cars and all that.
We have the Veronica Mars movie, which comes out, which was kickstarted. So the very first Kickstarter movie releasing.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Anything else of note? Oh, March 21st, Muppets Most Wanted comes out. Which
Oh, yeah, the sequel.
yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to that one. The first one was great.
Yeah, the first one was a really funny movie.
See, Divergent comes out, which I've heard interesting things about. March 28th, we have Russell Crowe and Noah.
It might turn out good. It might not.
Visually, it might turn out good.
Yeah, it's probably just good for like the special effects.
It looks like the poster here is Noah wielding an axe, so action Noah in action.
He's an axe head.
Oh! See here, April, Captain America, which we covered. Island of Lemurs, Madagascar. Okay. Looks like a live action thing though. Oh, Rio 2 comes out in April.
Uh-huh.
Let's see
I
here.
didn't see the first one, though.
I've heard good things about that first one though. Let's see here, nothing else of real note. May, we have The Amazing Spider-Man. This is when we start getting into the really good summer movies. Godzilla's out May 16th. X-Men's out May 23rd. May 30th, we have Maleficent, which actually looks pretty good. Angelina Jolie actually starring as the Snow White character, and, one of those instances where the studio wanted to, not make the characters dark, and she was like, no, I want dark and creepy Maleficent like she was in the cartoon. We also have A Million Ways to Die in the West, Seth MacFarlane's Western movie, which I've heard is supposedly really good.
That looks weird as hell. Just looks weird.
Let's see here. Going into June, we have 22 Jump Street. Why? How to Train Your Dragon 2, which I'm actually kind of excited for.
Yeah, the first movie was good.
Yeah, it was actually really surprising. I sat down and it was on Netflix. I was like, oh, sure, I'll watch it, see what it's about, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
June 27th, we have Transformers: Age of Extinction. I'm actually really looking forward to that one.
With the Dinobots.
It has Grimlock. It has Optimus Prime riding the back of Grimlock wielding a sword. This is basically Michael Bay's apology to everybody.
I don't know. I'll probably end up watching it eventually. Not in theaters, though. Probably just Redboxing it or when it goes on Netflix or something.
Yeah. July, let's see what we got here. We got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which...
Yeah. I forgot that came out. I want to see that. I'll probably see that in theaters.
Yeah, same here. Another Planes movie. Why?
Planes too.
Planes, Fire, and it has Dane Cook back apparently.
Hmm.
Headache. Um,
I don't like those films, like those Pixar films where it's like inanimate objects.
thing is, it's not even Pixar. It's just
Oh, it's not? Isn't
no,
Planes a Pixar movie?
no, it's a Disney movie. Pixar has nothing to do with
I
it.
swear it was a Pixar.
No, it's from the same universe as Cars, but
Uh,
Pixar did not touch that.
oh, that's interesting.
No.
Yeah, but I like that and Cars. I just don't like them. I don't know. Just like I could deal with Toy Story. I can't deal with cars and planes and boats. Like
That's the next one. Boats.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I know you're supposed to like suspend disbelief and all that. It just I don't know. It just doesn't click with me.
Last up here in July we have Hercules starring The Rock.
Oh, that comes out in July. Yeah, I want to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
John
I really want to see that.
and Ian McShane. So yeah, that should be good.
I really want to see that.
August, of course, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, first of the month.
Definitely seeing that. We spoke about that already, like 100 times.
Yep, and probably 100 times more as the podcast goes.
Yeah.
August the 8th, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not directed by Michael Bay. It's only produced, so it's
Yeah.
maybe good, but it does have Megan Fox and Will Arnett, so yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably see it just because I'm a Turtles fan, not in theaters, just eventually whenever it's released.
hmm
Like, I'll probably rent it.
I might go see it in theaters if nothing else is, I'll probably still be watching Guardians of the Galaxy, to be honest, all that entire month.
Hmm.
Let's see, August 15th, we do have The Expendables 3, which
Yeah,
I will probably end up seeing.
Yeah, I enjoyed the other two movies, so even if the story sucked, it was just an action movie, so.
I mean, this one's going to have Harrison Ford and several others. I mean, what's his name is in this one? Wesley Snipes, his first role back after prison. August 22nd, we got Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, which that should be interesting.
I didn't know that was coming out this year.
Nothing else of real note there. September, I really don't see anything there for September. Let's see, what's in November or October? Something should be good in October. Let's keep moving on.
What's in October?
Paranormal Activity 5?
I'll probably see that. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't seen like the
November.
latest one.
Check back soon for updated movie listings. And same thing for December. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year.
Hmm.
Next year, though, has the big movies.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. When does Jurassic Park come out? I keep forgetting.
2015.
2015. Okay. We'll see. Might be good. Might be terrible. But I'm definitely gonna see that in theaters. I don't care if it's horrible.
Yeah, same.
I'm such a big Jurassic Park fan. I'm gonna be like, I need to see that shit.
Alright, let's dive into what we've been playing, watching, and reading this past weekend.
You got a long ass list.
Yep, mine actually grew too.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about it. You're like, oh, I played that.
Yeah. Why don't you kick us off with one of the games you've...
Let me see. Let me check my list here. What do I kick it off with? Because I could go with some of the stuff I finished, some of the stuff I'm still playing. Let's just go with what everybody's talking about right now, and that is the Titanfall beta. which was closed for a couple days, and you needed, a redemption code to use and get access to. But over the weekend, they ended up opening it to the public. And at first, I was like, what the hell is everybody talking about? Like, the hype
Uh-huh.
behind this game has been extreme from, like, every different, like, news gaming outlet or gaming news outlet. And at first I was like, okay, this is fun, but whatever. And then yesterday it kind of just clicked with me. I'm like, well, this is really fun. So now I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking this up when it comes out because it just looks really, not looks, but it plays and feels, and it's just really fun. I still think it's a tad overrated
Mm-hmm.
because the industry was talking about this is going to revolutionize first-person shooters forever and all that. I think I think the industry hyped everybody up too much, and they put too much pressure on this game to be the next big thing with the pedigree of the people who are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really just look at it objectively, it's a really fun game. It might not be absolutely amazing, but it's still really, really good and really, really fun. So I'll be picking this up, and I really enjoy the beta. I think the differences between, playing as a soldier versus playing as a Titan, like it just feels different and it feels really cool switching back and forth. The parkour elements are really good, jumping back and forth between like buildings and using your jetpack and timing it right, jumping on the Titans, taking out a Titan, um, shooting some of the AI drones which they have in the game, which it might be an issue eventually because people could just camp and shoot the drones. And
Uh-huh.
they're counted as one kill. It isn't like they're counted less than a regular player that you're against. But that might be an issue, like when the game releases, of people just, you know, sticking around and shooting all the AI characters to rank up points.
Mm-hmm.
But and people are complaining about it, saying, remember the whole 6 versus 6. Well, I'm gonna say that's not an issue because
Okay.
it feels really chaotic even with 6 versus 6 with the Titans and then the several, because there's several different AI characters that they have, so it's pretty fun. I definitely recommend it.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I was going to register for the PC beta, but never bothered after.
Yeah,
I still have zero interest in that game.
yeah, I jumped around, like I said. Like at first I was like, what's this all about? And then I was like, kind of getting interested in, and then I played it for a couple hours. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I could see this being fun and this being like my go-to multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I got rid of Call of Duty Ghosts, and I got rid of it on purpose. I was like, I know Titanfall is coming out. When that comes out, that's going to be the good game just to jump in, go a couple rounds, something fun. It's not too complex. I wish there was a story, behind it. And from what I've seen, a couple leaks from the art book and stuff, there's more than meets the eye,
Mm-hmm.
like for the planets and these enemies, like enemy monsters and stuff. I don't know if they're actually in the game, but we'll see when that comes out eventually, which is right around the corner in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. March 11th, right?
Yep.
Cool. Cool. Uh, let's see, what one to pull out first on my list? I'll go with something that I've only briefly played for a little bit, and going with the PS4. That's Outlast. I finally got the nerve to actually start that game. I played for about 20 minutes, and then I stopped. Because it basically terrified the hell out of me.
Mhm.
Uh, it's just so bloody nerve-wracking. I I didn't even really go that far or experience that many jump scares, but there were a couple, and they honestly
Mhm.
scared the ever-loving daylight out of me. It's just that creepy atmosphere. It's like, is there something behind me? Is there something watching me? Is there going to be something around the next corner? Like at
Mhm.
one point I was hiding in a locker and this massive size monster thing comes like coming into the room and walking around. and actually opens up the locker next to the one I'm hiding in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh god. Because there is no attack or anything. All you can do is run and hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it's probably going to be a game where, like the original Dead Space, I play in 20-minute sessions. So right now it's free on PlayStation Plus, so hey, why not
Yeah.
download it and play it,
Yeah,
right?
I've been meaning to play it. I've just been playing a bunch of other stuff. But I know I'm gonna get to it. I already already have it downloaded on my PS4. I'm sorry for the music in the background if you hear that. My dad decided to sing for whatever reason with karaoke while we're recording this podcast. So if anybody hears that and they're like, "What the hell is that in the background?" That's my dad singing. Anyway, uh, Outlast sounds awesome. I'm gonna move into the next game I've been playing. Let's see. Let me get Titanfall beta off the list. Killer Instinct. I've been playing a lot more of that.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I had my buddy over CJ because he was about to move. We played that for like hours, like 3 or 4 hours, and we weren't getting tired of it. I bought like a second Xbox One controller. We had a blast, like just playing, like getting all the points, unlocking the stages, unlocking like the different outfits, the different music tracks. We unlocked like the old school KI announcer, and
Oh,
I
nice.
switched it immediately to the old school one. And it just sounds fucking awesome when you do ultra combos and all that. And I recorded like a bunch of footage on the Xbox while we were playing. It was really fun. Like if you have Xbox One, try out Killer Instinct. It's only $20. It's an absolute steal at that price, even with, it just has like 7 characters right now because the Spinal just came out and we played the crap out of Spinal. Spinal's awesome. His stage, like all his moves, ultra combos. So I'm like incredibly high on this game. Like I think Double Helix did such a fantastic job that I bought like Strider, which just came out this week
Mhm.
from Double Helix, and I'm looking forward to playing that. But that's pretty much it for Killer Instinct since it doesn't have a story mode or anything like that right now. It's just pure gameplay, you know, playing with my buddy or playing against a computer doing the survival mode. I have not jumped online because I don't want to get my ass handed to me because I know that will happen. I
Oh,
want to,
Chris.
keep playing it, getting better on it, and then eventually, jumping online.
Cool, cool. The next game I'll bring it on my list here is, let's go with a Vita game since I've got two of them on here. And that will be Smart As, which was given out free last month on
Oh,
PlayStation.
yeah.
And basically the only thing I've been doing on that game is the daily training, which is
Mm.
actually kind of fun. For one, you have John Cleese narrating everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just brilliant and extremely funny. And
Mm.
there's something really engaging about doing that every day and trying to beat your previous score.
Mm-hmm.
Though one complaint I will say about this, the the game does not know what a fucking D looks like. Because every time I try to draw a D, I have gotten an X, I've gotten an
Mm-hmm.
O, I've gotten a T, I've gotten a J, but no fucking way will it realize the letter D when I draw it. Capital or
Mm-hmm.
small. I actually recorded a video of it with my phone. I hope to put that up soon. Probably call it like smartass won't take a D or won't take the D. But it's just so frustrating when you get like playing the missing letter game when you have to draw a D and it won't
Mm-hmm.
do it. But other than that, the games are really fun, and I've gotten as high as 85% on that thus far.
That's funny. That kind of reminds me of Brain Age for the DS.
Hmm. Yeah, it's basically that kind of game, except you don't have like the brain age guy like
Uh,
dissing you if you miss a day of training.
Because one, I just remember this now. I was playing Brain Age, and I think it was like one of the math things where you had to like multiply or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 9 times 9, and of course that's 81.
Yeah.
And I drew a penis instead, and I got it as the correct answer. So me and my brother, we were fucking dying. So every time after that, we're like 9 times 9 equals dick. So we it was so funny. I just remembered that, like, right when you were saying, like, it wasn't registering the D,
Yeah.
like, when you were inputting it. So it's fucking hilarious. That's what it's just a random story, but after that, 9 times 9 equals dick. That's fucking great.
And I do believe we just got our podcast title.
Yeah. That's true, 9 times. Oh, man, that's a great title.
Well,
Yeah, and I'll probably check that out since I did download it during like the window of time that it was up. I didn't download the full thing. I just do, the download cancel type of thing, so I don't take up space. But
yeah, it's definitely worth playing if you got the room to keep it on your Vita.
yeah, I need a bigger memory card because mine is not that big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went the full 9 yards and got a 32 off of Amazon.
Oh yeah, I need to get one. I know those are like uncommon now.
Yeah, they really are. You can't really find them in a store anywhere.
Yeah, I was trying to get one for the longest at Best Buy when they had them on clearance, but every time I went in, they were out. But anyway, let's move on to another game. This is another one. Actually, have I talked about anything I finished? No, I've just been talking about what I was playing. So I'm not sure if I talked about this like the last time I was on the podcast about Rise, and if at that point I had beat it yet.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But yeah, I beat it, and it was really, really fun. A lot of people bashed this game. All the reviewers are saying, oh, it's repetitive, it's terrible, blah, blah. It is repetitive, but I think the combat system itself is really fun. It's sort of like Batman in a way. Of course, it's not as fluid and responsive as Batman, but it felt like a mix of Batman and God of War.
Okay.
And
I've heard it's
it's
kind of
fun.
like the knack of the Xbox One.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's repetitive, but it's like half the length of Knack, so you don't feel that overkill by the end, like how Knack was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And by the end, you were like, oh my god, this needs to end. So,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's a good game. I really like the story too, but the way it ended, it doesn't seem like they could do a sequel, at least with the character from this game. But it was kind of surprising because the way they've portrayed this game, I kind of want to spoil it, but at the same time, I don't know if anybody really cares because they've been crapping on this game. But, it's been portrayed as like a realistic recreation of Rome, but there's some like, mythological elements behind it, like that they really didn't show in the media, and like a war between the different Roman gods and how they help you like, create your destiny. And you'll see that in the game, which I thought was actually cool because all I was expecting was, a recreation of Rome and nothing to do with the Roman gods or anything. It's not to the level of something like God of War with the mythology, but it's something really cool. And I thought the voice acting was great. The performance, capture of the people acting was really good. It's really stunning, beautiful. There was some segments of like the game that I was like, this is real, like this is next gen. This is one of those first games that I played and I'm like, this looks really good. This couldn't have been done on the Xbox 360 or PS3.
Cool.
So yeah,
It's good to hear that the game is actually, pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good game. The only complaint that I have is the repetition, and they could have fixed that. It kind of reminds me of Enslaved on 360 PS3, where the combat was really repetitive because they didn't put like an upgrade system like God of War where you unlock new combos and all that. Like there's an upgrade system there in Rise, but it's more about like you could gather more points from streaking, not streaking, like streaking, stringing like different attacks and getting more points, and then those points unlock more things. It has like what do you call that? Microtransactions. I didn't use any of that. You don't really need to because by the end of the game you can unlock most of the stuff.
Hmm.
So that's probably my complaint. Like if they did a sequel, which I think they might do because they hired like one of the writers from God of War
Yeah.
over at Crytek, they really need an upgrade system. Like it feels a game like it was rushed
Hmm.
to launch, as most launch games are, and it has potential. It's like Knack. Like Knack is the best comparison. Like it looks great, it plays really fun, it has potential. It just wasn't all there, and it isn't as bad as the media's been saying. So.
Well, that is really nice to know. Because
Hmm.
if I ever did get an Xbox One, I'd probably pick that up.
Yeah, I definitely say check it out. I'm sure it's gonna be cheaper by like whenever you pick up Xbox One. So
2 or 3 years from now, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but it's good. It isn't revolutionary, but
Hmm.
it's a pretty game. Like it shows off the Xbox One definitely in terms of graphics.
Cool, cool. Alright, next up for me, probably the game I've played most this week, and that's WWE 2K14. The other night, myself and Big Boss actually sat down and played a bit of online, trying to get the win 10 online ranked matches.
Oh,
The
I
fun part
hate those damn. Oh, I hate those trophies and achievements that are like that.
The very fun thing about this is you cannot do like invites for ranked matches. So basically what we were doing, we were going to fair fight because it looked like nobody wanted to do fair fight. So Big Boss was setting up the match, and then I was quickly searching for it, and
Hmm.
amazingly enough, we actually did manage to do 20 matches
Oh,
that
that's
way.
good.
It was really fun. We had a little bit of lag, but yeah, it worked out really well. Had a blast doing that. Basically spending the day trophy hunting in the
Hmm.
game. And since then, I've actually been trying to do the defend the streak mode, which is,
Oh, I heard that's a pain in the ass.
yeah, there are 3 trophies for that. One for winning 10, one for winning 30, and one for winning 50. I've had the 10 and 30 one before, but I've been trying to get the 50 match one, and my first attempt on Tuesday night ended with 28, which was kind of horrible. And I
Hmm.
tried it again last night. I got up to number 49 wins.
Mm.
Then Ziggler came in as number 50 and kicked my ass, basically. It's like one win away, and I couldn't do it. I
Oh,
was
that sucks.
so pissed off.
That sucks.
I'm probably going to give it another shot after we finish recording here, simply because I'm determined as hell to
Yeah,
get that.
to finish it.
Yeah,
I need to pick that up eventually.
it is a good
Well,
game.
once that price goes
I've
down.
finished the 30 years of WrestleMania mode, which is great.
Hmm.
I've managed to beat The Undertaker and defeat the streak with a few people now, with Edge, with Randy Orton, King Kong Bundy, Diesel, and a created superstar, basically. I
Hmm.
think I've done it with somebody else too, but I can't remember for the life of me now. But that is hard as hell to get as well. I've been unable to do it with Michaels and with CM Punk yet.
Hmm. Damn. Sounds good though.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying the game.
All
And
right,
it will
so
definitely probably be my next platinum trophy.
oh yeah. All right, so moving on to my next game that I've finished, and it's Resogun on the PS4. Of
Woo!
course, got that through PlayStation Plus. I have to say the last two, the last two levels were a pain in the ass. Oh man, but that game is so fun, so addicting.
Hmm.
Great looking game, great gameplay. It's great that I got it for free. Like it's worth like I guess it's like $15, right? If
Yep.
you have to pay for it, so it's definitely worth that price. It's short, but it's very challenging. I was like, okay, I need to finish this game because I started it. So, and that's the first PS Plus game that I actually finished. I downloaded and finished because there's so many of them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It got really difficult towards the end, towards the last boss, but I got through it.
Yeah, that last level is such a challenge.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
I definitely need to get back and play more of that game, try and beat my high score again.
Hmm.
My main goal in that game was actually, I think, playing on not the hardest difficulty, but the hardest difficulty available and trying to beat Colin Moriarty's score, which
Hmm.
eventually I did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I saw the trophy list and I'm like, nope, I'm
apparently
not gonna
it's
do
not
this.
that hard of a platinum, though.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but I'm like, do I want to spend all this time on this, or I want to play another game? I was like, I'll play another game.
Uh, Going with the degree of difficulty, the next game on my list is actually Spelunky, which I've been playing on the Vita, though I have it on PC and, well, PS3 technically too because of cross-buy. Uh, I've actually been really enjoying this. It's extremely hard, and I really haven't been able to get past level 1.2 so far
Hmm.
because, man, it is so easy to die in that game. But it's fun. It's challenging, and it's going to be one of those games where when you do get far, it's going to be rewarding.
Hmm. Yeah, I've had this on my radar for a while. Uh, I don't know. I just haven't, decided to pick it up yet.
Yeah, it
I
took
was
me a
like,
while too. I waited till it went on sale for like I think it was $4 on one of the
hmm,
last like big sales PSN had.
yeah. I said, I don't know. There's just so much to play. I was like, I'm like cutting back. Like even if I see something on sale, I'm not buying it. Like I'm like, I'll just finish what I have.
Okay.
But you got anything else you've been playing or?
I do have one more, but you're up.
All right, let me go and get this one out the way. A game that I took a chance on because I'm not a fan of these types of games, and that is Forza 5.
Ooh.
And man, this game is super fun. Like you could customize the crap out of it in terms of the difficulty. Like you could play it super arcadey with all the assists on, with like a roadmap that tells you like where your car should be on the track and everything. Or you can make it super like super sim where any damage affects your gas and affects your car, affects your tires, your traction, all that. So I have it somewhere in between. When I started the game, I was like, oh, this is really easy. And then I checked and like all the assists were on and things like that. So I did like a custom setting and it's pretty much like on medium difficulty for me.
Yeah.
And that's what works for me, which is really cool. So it's very, open to people checking out the franchise because you could customize it and play it. Like if you're a super diehard, like say Gran Turismo fan and you want like every like impact on the car to affect like how your tires go or the amount of gasoline you have in the car. You could do that, but if you're like a Need for Speed type of fan, you just want to race, you just want to have a blast, you could do that too. And that's really surprising for me. And they have a bunch of cars, a bunch of tracks. Jeez, I was really surprised how many tracks they have. And it's just super fun. I've been really enjoying it. It's really cool, the force feedback on the Xbox One controller. This was really like the first game that I played with that. And like when you go off course, like off the road, like you'll feel it on the rumble on your triggers. Like you'll feel like you're on grass or you're on pavement,
Hmm.
like the difference between them, which is really, really cool. When you make turns, you feel it. So I'm really high on this game. Like I'm really impressed by Forza 5, and I hadn't played one, before this. And I'm more of the Need for Speed or arcadey or even kart racer like
Hmm.
type of gamer. But this one has just hooked me in. I'm not that very far into it, but there's so much content there to play, and it feels super intense too at the level that I'm at. I feel like I took it off because when you started, like I was saying, you have the assist, and it'll help you turn and do all that stuff.
Hmm.
But if you take that off, like you have to manually turn, and it just feels really cool. Like I haven't really been into a racing game this much since I don't know, like Need for Speed, like Underground on the PS2. So this is super fun. If you have an Xbox One, definitely pick this up. It's a good looking game too. It isn't to the level of Rise where you're like, this is really next gen, but it looks really nice, and all the tracks look really nice. All the lighting and all the effects, like, not the effects, but like the reflections on the cars and everything. So
Hmm.
definitely recommended.
Cool, cool. Okay, the last game that I have here on my list, I've played up to, I think, Chapter 7 or 8 now, and it's another PlayStation Plus game that came out last month, and that's DMC, Devil May Cry.
Hmm. I
Now,
want to hear about this.
I'm one of the fans of the original game, and I
Yeah.
love the original Dante and whatnot.
Hmm.
I was skeptical, but I've been enjoying the game. I have to say, I really like the style they've gone with here. It is a
Hmm.
reimagining, so, I'm not taking it heartfelt like a lot of people have.
Hmm.
But, yeah, the combat feels great. It's quite fast-paced, even at 30 frames per second on the PS3, and well, I guess 360 version as well.
Hmm.
But, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The story's weird, but good. uh,
Yeah. I want to play this. I know I downloaded it from PS Plus also, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And I'm a fan of like the original Dante, like his character design, his attitude, the whole character. This one looks cool, and I know it was the team that also did Enslaved and Heavenly Sword.
mhm.
Ninja Theory, I believe, is their name.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to playing this. I just haven't gotten around. I was actually gonna pick it up like right when they announced that it was coming free on PS Plus, and I might just pick it up down the line anyway, just to add it to the collection,
Mhm.
since I have the other Devil May Cry games.
Yep.
But
Yeah, it was
it
the same.
sounds cool.
Yeah, it was the same as you there. Steam put it on sale during their winter sale for like $13, and I was like, oh, I might as well pick this up now. And PlayStation went and announced it. I was like, okay, I will hold off. And
Hmm.
yeah, personally, I probably will throw money at it the next time it comes up on a Steam sale. I've actually enjoyed it that much,
Hmm.
and I will definitely be finishing this over the course of the next week, I think. I want to get it done before February's up. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, because the onslaught of March is right
Yeah,
around the corner.
March is coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last game for me on my list this week.
So I got two games left, and they're both from two very, very popular characters that have been around for over 20 years, both of them.
Hmm.
And the first one that I'm going to talk about is Super Mario 3D World. I finally got around to finishing that. I went back to it. I had a couple worlds left, and of course, in Mario fashion, once you think you're at the end, nope. You still got at least like one or two more worlds to go. Bowser tricked me again. I was expecting it, of course, but it's super fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely think it's a reason to pick up a Wii U.
Hmm.
The 3D world is fantastic, both in like level design, the the music is really good. The soundtrack, my only issue is that they repeat a lot of the songs throughout in different levels, but like the core songs that are there are fantastic.
Hmm.
The gameplay feels great. It does take some time to get used to. Like it doesn't feel, to me, it didn't feel like the Mario from Galaxy or Sunshine or 64 in terms of the controls. It felt kind of different, but it's really cool. I really like some of the later levels that were really, really started to pick up. The boss battle, like the final boss, it wasn't disappointing. There's a lot of platformers you play, and like the final boss is a joke. And
Hmm.
this one was really cool how they did Bowser, and it's highly recommended. If you guys have a Wii U or are thinking to pick up a Wii U, definitely pick this up. It's one of the best games, if not the best game on the console right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm a huge like 3D Mario fan. I don't know where I would rank this because it's kind of hard because all the 3D Mario games are different. You got, of course, Sunshine, 64, the Galaxy games. You got this and 3D World on 3D Land on the 3DS. So it's kind of hard because they're all great games. I don't think this is at the level of a Galaxy because that was just like a really special game for me for whatever reason. It just hooked me since the beginning and I played through it. This is still really good, really high quality. I definitely recommend it. It's just that Nintendo magic that we were talking crap about Nintendo earlier, of course, criticizing them, but this has that Nintendo magic that no other studio has really been able to recreate.
Except for Media Molecule.
Except for, Media Molecule with Tearaway. But I mean, in terms of like the big 3D platforms, because that Tearaway is a 3D platformer. It isn't as ambitious as this, but I still want a really ambitious Mario game, though. I want another like Mario 64. But this is another of those games that when like up to release, we were all like, oh, this is disappointing. It might be disappointing eventually, like when you look at everything, but it's still fantastic. It's kind of like Titanfall that I was talking about earlier that everybody hyped the crap out of, but it's still really, really good. It's the same thing with this one. It isn't something to the level of Galaxy for me personally, but it's still a great game, and I definitely recommend it. And speaking about, platformers, the last game I've been playing, which I haven't finished, is Sonic Lost World. I'm almost done. There's 7 worlds. I'm up to World 6.
Okay.
And I have really like mixed emotions about this game. Sometimes it's like absolutely brilliant in terms of the level design, and sometimes I just want to throw my damn gamepad. Like it's one of those games. Because the controls, they're very different to any of the previous Sonic games. And coming from like Generations, which was fantastic, Colors, which was really good, they play different to this. Like there's of course, traditional jump button, but there's also like the homing attack button, which there's 2 of them now. There's one where you just like hit the enemy, and there's one where you kick the enemy. So depending on the enemy, you have to learn which one you have to defeat them with. And then there's a button to speed up Sonic. So it's more complex than the traditional games, and it does not do a good job, in my opinion, to walk you through like a tutorial showing you all the different moves.
Okay.
So at first you're like, this feels fucking terrible, but by World 6 that I'm at, I'm like, this feels quite good. And it's one of those challenging platformers. Like at first I was like, maybe the game's just, it's not that good. But then I realized like, no, it's like actually really precise. Like you have to be really precise with the jumps. You have to know where you're going. It's one of those games that you go through a level once and you die like 5 times. But then when you go back through, you know where everything's at and how to time your jumps and everything that you could get through without dying. So it's quite good. And this is one of those games that's been crapped on by the media a lot. Like it got bad reviews. And I actually think it's one of the better 3D Sonic games. I haven't finished it yet, so this is not, my final verdict. But as of right now, I think it's quite good in terms of like some of the level designs are really, really cool. It draws a lot of inspiration from Galaxy.
Okay.
And the boss battles are quite good, which they have been disappointing like in some of the previous Sonic games. Like Sonic Colors, some of the boss battles were a complete joke. And this, at least they're more complex. It's quite fun. I'm not done with it yet. I want to finish it before Donkey Kong hits on Friday. So within like today, tomorrow, or Friday, I'll be finishing it up. So it's a good game. It's one of the better 3D Sonic games. It just, you got to go into it with an open mind. Like you can't jump into this expecting Sonic to play exactly how he's played in the last couple games, which is kind of disappointing, I guess, for some people. But I think it's cool for me because they try to switch up the formula. And there was always an issue with Sonic that, like you would hit an object and he would just stop. And that's been an issue with like 3D Sonic games. But now that you have the choice between, just a regular run, a super fast run, the spin dash, like you got all these different mechanics that you could use. He also does a lot of parkouring. So instead of just hitting an object and just stopping, Like he'll like, jump over it and do some parkour over it, depending on what speed like you're going. If you're going super fast, he might just hit it. But if you going fast and then you let go of the speed, he'll parkour. Like it's kind of, you have to time it right. So I think that's why a lot of reviewers crapped on it. They just didn't give it the time of day to really learn the controls, in my opinion. But it's a good game. Definitely recommend it for Sonic fans. Definitely recommend it for people who have a Wii U.
Cool.
And that's it for me in terms of games I've been playing, which has been a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure next week or whenever else I'm on, I'll talk about like my final thoughts on Sonic Lost World, which I'm sure I'll be finished by then, and then I can talk about Donkey Kong and then whatever else I've been playing.
How great Cranky Kong is the game. I mean, that's your system, so.
Yeah, Cranky Kong. He actually looks pretty cool. It's a straight rip-off from DuckTales.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it looks fun, though. I'm sure it's going to be one of those other games I want to throw my gamepad at the wall. Because the last game was definitely like that on the Wii. There was a lot of levels that made me want to pull my hair out.
All right, well, let's briefly dive into our been watching. I don't know about you, but I really don't have much for this. The only thing I really have is Doctor Who, which I have finally caught up completely with. And watching the last episode that aired, once again, that show managed to make me cry. Just because of the emotional impact, but beautifully done. Matt Smith, his last episode as the Doctor was really well done. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, that's basically it for me because I still have not managed to get out to see the Lego movie.
Oh yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. It's just like I'll have these random days off and then I'm just like home and I'm like, play games, go to the movies, do something. Like, I don't know.
Well, my days off lately have been, oh look, it's snowing and shitty outside. I'm staying in today.
Yeah. But I've been watching a couple things. First thing I'm going to talk about is it's up on Netflix, so if you guys want to check it out, and that is like the 50 years of the WWE. Like, it's a documentary about the history of the company, which is pretty good. I might pick it up on Blu-ray. I enjoyed it. It just goes through all the different eras of WWE back when they started, when, wrestling was divided by, territories way back then, with the NWA having, designated areas of the U.S. and like Canada and Mexico to certain companies. Then, of course, from there, going into like Bruno Sammartino, like his era in the 70s, and then going into Hulkamania in the 80s. Brother. And then going into the 90s with the Attitude Era, and then to, the modern era today. So it was pretty good. I think it's right under 3 hours, I think. I want to say like 2 hours and a half. But I enjoyed it. So if you guys got Netflix and you're wrestling fans, definitely give it a watch.
Awesome.
Anything else you've been watching?
Not really, no. I tried watching The Walking Dead the other night, but the power went off halfway through it, so still haven't caught up
I'm
there.
kind of losing interest. I don't know. Like, The Walking Dead, like, at least the television series is just really not doing it for me anymore. I don't know why. It's... Because, like, that there's never going to be a resolution that you're going to like. Like, there's no end point that you could see coming. So, I don't know. Maybe that's it. But besides that, I've been watching Rugrats on Amazon. They have like the whole series, all the seasons up on there. I watched like all of season 1. It still holds up incredibly well nowadays, which really impressed me because a lot of cartoons from back in the day, they don't hold up.
No.
I'm somewhere in season 2, but it's still really funny, I think, both for like adults and children. And then the last and final thing I've been watching is Attack on Titan, which is up on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on episode 5. I haven't sat down and watched the anime in a while. I thought the first episode was like really good. It was fucking disturbing with those giant titans. And I still don't understand why they don't have penises. But like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, they don't have any genitalia whatsoever, which is like a random thing to point out from a anime. But I don't know. But it started off like really good, and then it just hasn't like fully immersed me and grabbed me yet. Like the episode that I'm at right now is finally when can't even remember the names of the characters now. I'm going blank. But like the main
I've only
character,
seen the first episode yet, so I can't help you there.
yeah, the first character, like the Titans return after like a long hiatus for several years after he's become one of the people defending humanity. So it's kind of picking up right now, but it's quite good. I think it's good. I know a lot of people have been very high on it, have been really promoting it and saying it's like the next best thing. It hasn't really grabbed me. Like the last anime that really, really like grabbed me and like would not let go until I finished it and just marathoned it was Code Geass, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not seen that one, no.
It is fucking
Told to watch
excellent. Watch it. Like it's so good. Like it kind of reminds me of Death Note if you've seen that, like the series of Death Note series.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh yeah, definitely check that out too. But they're kind of similar in that they have those what the fuck cliffhanger moments.
Mhm.
So it just progressively like throughout
Like
the
in
whole
the
season.
style of Full Metal Alchemist then.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I actually have, so we both have stuff to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Code Geass was fantastic. It has a couple. I know it had 2 seasons with like the main cast, and then they did some like side stuff, which hasn't come out here in the States with characters that weren't the original characters or whatever. But those 2 seasons are amazing. But anyway, back to Attack on Titan. I'm sure I'm gonna be watching it more throughout the week, and hopefully it grabs me and like I don't know. It's just sometimes you might be in the mood for something, sometimes not. Like that, if I'm not in the mood to play a game, I'll throw on an episode of like Attack on Titan or like Rugrats or some other TV show. So that's it for me. And man, this has been a long podcast. I just looked at the, just looked at.
Relaxed and unprepared one, yeah.
Yeah, relaxing, unprepared. You've been talking forever. Damn. So anything you've been reading?
Nope.
Nope, nothing for me.
Straight on to shameless self-promotion.
Yeah. And I got nothing there either. So nothing for me, I guess. I'm sure you have some videos coming up.
Yeah, coming up. Well, recently I've stuck up a vlog about my ideal WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I had some fun editing that one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I will continue to do for my future vlogs, for the most part anyway.
Yeah, that was fun. I definitely think you should keep doing that.
Thanks. So yeah, I put out a brand new Let's experience with Gunman Clive. Ride to Hell still going up each week. My sanity going down further and further as I play on.
Mm-hmm.
I put out a video on one of the Flappy Bird clones called Flappy Bird Francis, which Boogie2988 actually promoted, and he was like, if you record a video of this and put out the name Boogie29 and title it Boogie2988 Flappy Bird, he'll actually watch them. So I did that, and he actually favorited the tweet that I mentioned it in, so that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, I think, my most viewed video of this year so far. It's gotten 115 views at the moment.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
As for videos coming up, I will have a new Ride to Hell for this week, which I still haven't recorded yet. And a new Let's experience, which I will give a shout out to a fellow Axhead here. I'm not sure if his Steam name is the same as his Axhead name, but it's Havoc on Steam, and he gifted me a copy of Steam World Dig, which was...
Oh man, that's been on my radar. Yeah, I haven't played it.
Yeah, so I will definitely be doing a Let's experience of that this weekend, so quite looking forward to finally diving into that game.
Yeah, that looks really good. I've had my eye on it ever since it came out on 3DS. I just haven't picked it up.
So yeah, that's basically my shameless self-promotion. I will have Guacamole and Dust videos back up soon. It's just been kind of a hectic week and I haven't been able to record. So, yeah. Schedule, maybe,
Yep.
straighten up again next week. Maybe, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of it for me in that regard. So, questions and comments, guys. Please give us questions and comments, and I will give you free games. And I recently picked up the latest Humble Bundle, which means I can give you a copy of Gina Sisters, Twisted Dreams, or The Swapper, or Dust and Elysian Tale, or Antichamber. Guacamole, unfortunately, is going to a friend who hasn't owned it yet, and I'm going to force it down his throat because I've been to buy it time and time again. But yeah, I can gift you those games, along with others that I still have, if you just give us questions and comments. And, yeah, I do believe that's going to do it for the show this week. Israel, it's been a while, so why don't you take us out?
All right, so I hope you guys stick through all the noise in the background. But yeah, it's been a while. I appreciate you guys listening. As Lord X said, leave comments down below. You can win some free games. You can give us some things to talk about, topic suggestions, maybe some questions, anything you would like. And I'm sure I'll be back whenever I can because of scheduling conflicts or whatever. Appreciate you guys checking this out. For Lord X, I'm Israel Pacheco. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
And remember, 9 times 9 is penis.